Hello, and welcome back to my ePortfolio. In this video, we will be discussing our first industry software in our HORT 120 class called Dynascape. Industry-specific software like Dynascape is a software that is tailored specifically for the landscape industry, whereas non-industry specific software like AutoCAD are not tailored toward the landscape industry and can be used across multiple industries by architects, interior designers, engineers, and manufacturers, just to name a few examples. Industry-specific softwares have certain features like a plant catalog, an expansion of different hardscape patterns, pre-built figures, and site amenities, whereas AutoCAD lacks those kinds of features. Dynascape has more representative symbols of trees and shrubs, unlike in AutoCAD, which is just circles of different sizes to represent trees and shrubs. Unlike in AutoCAD, Dynascape also utilizes a label tool that allows you to label different trees/shrubs with leader lines, as well as other objects in the drawing, like a table and chairs, hatch patio, and a fire pit. Model space is where all the work for the design takes place, which is the same for both Dynascape and AutoCAD. We start by importing a template that we were given to begin tracing the image and scaling it 1:1, which is real-world dimensions. Scaling the drawing in Dynascape was much easier than in AutoCAD because we simply selected 2 points and measured the length. We used the door frame in the drawing to select our 2 points and set the distance to 3 feet, and then the rest of the drawing was proportionally scaled. The paper space is also different in both Dynascape and AutoCAD, where in Dynascape, the sheet size and scale was already pre-selected before we started drawing, whereas in AutoCAD, you had to go to a separate paper space and scale it. The sheet size used in Dynascape was 11 by 17, and the printing process was different because in Dynascape, you have to choose between the display colors and the output colors. The print scale was also different in both softwares. In Dynascape, we printed using the scale 1/10 of an inch equals 1 foot, which means that 1/10 of an inch on the paper means 1 foot in the real world. In AutoCAD, we printed using the scale 1/16 of an inch equals 1 foot. When moving the scaled image around, it varies in both softwares. In Dynascape, it was more complicated because the image was automatically locked, so we had to draw a box around the image in order to move it. The polyline tool is another tool used in both Dynascape and AutoCAD. It's similar in both softwares as it allows you to draw multiple line segments around objects in the drawing and select all of the line segments once finished drawing it. However, there are differences in both softwares. In Dynascape, the polyline tool allows us to use grip edits after we draw the line, which shows us our beginning, middle, and end points and allows us to create nice smooth curves and arcs. Unlike in AutoCAD, where we have to estimate where our midpoint is, so it makes the process of creating smooth curves and arcs more difficult. Now also in Dynascape, we used a closed polyline in order to create our hatch section without it overlapping onto other parts of the drawing. This was done by drawing a closed polyline around the table and chairs, the diameter close to the edge of the patio, and the walkway heading down near the front of the house. This was done on the temp layer, and once the temp layer was turned off, all the areas were filled with a hatch pattern. This shows the versatility of the polyline tool in Dynascape. Layers is used in both Dynascape and AutoCAD and are similar because they use colors that are not industry specific for better organization of the layers when completing the drawing. Dynascape's layers were already preset with both the name and color, so we could jump right into adding different layers to the project. In AutoCAD, we had to manually add each layer in through the layer menu and add a color for each layer. Also in Dynascape, we could add custom layers if needed at any time throughout the design process. Figures are also used in both Dynascape and AutoCAD, but in AutoCAD are called blocks. They are similar in both softwares because they help give an area a sense of scale to get an idea of how big it is, and also gives the area a sense of purpose. However, they are also different. For AutoCAD, we had to go to an external site that was friendly to AutoCAD to import the blocks into the drawing. In Dynascape, they are already built into the software, so all we had to do was go to the Figures tab, select the layer, and put them in our drawing, which was a much quicker process. These figures also have tools that allow you to both rotate and resize them. Another tool that is specifically used in Dynascape is the Plant Label tool. When we opened this tool, it took us to a plant menu. From there, we changed the location to Dynascape.com and it gave us a list of thousands of different plants, trees, and shrubs. There are 2 tools we used in the plant menu, the auto count and the manual tool. The auto count tool was used when we had a group of clustered plants. This tool allowed us to go into the plant menu, click the go button next to the tool, and click on the clustered group of shrubs and then gave us an automatically calculated number. The manual count tool was used when we had individual plants that were not clustered together. This tool we manually had to enter the number of plants or shrubs rather than the number being calculated automatically. These tools allowed us to then make an overall plant list of the plants used in the drawing. Overall, I enjoyed using the Dynascape software for this project. Both softwares had their similarities and differences, and I personally felt that AutoCAD was an easier software to learn. However, after spending more time on Dynascape, I enjoyed using the software more than AutoCAD because of the different features that the software offers. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and check back soon for future projects.